Texas Senator John Cornyn hosting a news conference this week with his Senate GOP colleagues to highlight the success of President Trump's crime crackdown in D.C. He also made some major, bold moves in his Senate GOP primary race against Attorney General Ken Paxton. I asked him about that. And we are so pleased to have Senator John Cornyn of Texas with us. He is the chair of the Subcommittee on International Trade, Customs, and Global Competitiveness. He's also a committee finance member of the Committee on the Budget. Senator Cornyn, welcome in. Good to see you, sir.
Thanks, Bianca.
We know that President Trump is working hard to fight crime. Nation's capital, where he was able to bring in the National Guard, other cities pushing back, saying that they don't want the help, which is kind of remarkable when you think of where the Democrats think this is going to go. Your reaction as someone who has, worked hard to make sure the president's agenda is getting through. It seems like they are going to go down a path, and some say taking the bait, if you will, Senator.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it takes Trump derangement syndrome to a whole new level, where instead of agreeing with President Trump that, yes, public safety is important and we need to work together to address that, they choose the other side, which is less public safety, more crime. Thank goodness Mayor Bowser has now come around and recognized how important it is for the District of Columbia to have safe streets. And the progress has been remarkable, but it's not something you can take for granted. And without President Trump's leadership, it wouldn't have happened.
Also doesn't seem left right. I mean, this week you had a reporter from the Washington Examiner at one of your news conferences who talks about how she was attacked on the streets of Washington. And that really is sort of the heart of this. That is about Americans feeling safe and really not shouldn't be politicized at all. That was an important story you felt to share.
Yeah, and the truth is, it's not just the people who live in the District of Columbia, but it's about people who work here, like congressional staff, and it's about the visitors, the millions of people who come here each year, and having a safe streets for them is really important. I'm sure they would agree with that. But Anna's very courageous and willingness to share her story, where how she was sexually assaulted on a Saturday morning, I think roughly about 10 a.m. But she also pointed the fact that the District of Columbia cooks the books when it comes to crime statistics, trying to make it look better than it really is.
Right.
So kudos to her for stepping up and telling her story. But it's not just keeping the streets safe, it's having accurate information so we can know what is needed in order to protect the public.
Absolutely. And that's why the DOJ is looking into it now on those statistics. So true, Senator Cornyn. Let's talk about the Letitia Act. We know the name. It's actually, you introduced it. It's named after New York Attorney General Letitia James. And this may give the Trump administration the ability to go even further if people are committing bank, tax, loan, or mortgage fraud, which seems to be sort of a very common theme lately, whether it be James or Schiff or now Lisa Cook.
Yeah, it's a serious crime, and it hurts the public, and people who are public officials should not be taking advantage of it by lying on their mortgage applications in order to achieve discounted rates on their payments, and claiming something to be your homestead and claiming a tax exemption when in fact you're using it as rental property. So we thought it was important to introduce that legislation and to point out this seems to be a more and more common crime and one that needs to be investigated and punished.